Works if I turn on the mic. Frickin' rookies on YouTube. How's that? Can you hear me now? Guess I should do more testing. Test. All right, I think it's working. All good. So, hope everyone's doing good on the Saturday. It's hot as balls here in Vancouver. Audio and video is A. I think you mean EA. Feels loud to me, man. Around 11%. All good, Rick. That's what I like. That's what I'm talking about. All right, so I have many speeder bikes in all the shapes and sizes. I'm not going to go out on a limb and say it is my absolute favorite Star Wars vehicle, but it is my top 2 Star Wars vehicles because I'm also a huge fan of like the Imperial Shuttle Tidarium vehicle. But bang for your buck, speeder bike is the way to go. So that I've got a great love for speeder bike. I always loved Star Wars, but Return of the Jedi brought out some of the cooler creatures and vehicles that we hadn't really seen yet, right? Like they may have snuck a speeder bike and a chicken walker ATSD in the Hoth battle, but we didn't really get to see those really in their full glory until Return of the Jedi a couple of years later. But yeah, so speeder bikes, man, that's my jam. So let me do a little camera switcheroo. Shabam! Now I can go. Can I not go bigger? But I could go full screen with this, but I guess I can't. Interesting. Storming and raining. So welcome, Stuffman. How you doing today, Rolando? Chris, how you doing, buddy? If you're still building, jump on, man. I'm not going to be here for too long, but I'm going to not be muted. I'll just be talking to myself. What's going on? Hey, Baz, how you doing? All right, so now that that's done, so yeah, like I said, I do have a lot of it built. The very first thing, of course, was the really, these are kind of cool builds. Like they're fun to build, but they fit in with scale and stuff, but I don't know. They look very robot-y, anime kind of, looking. But great idea. These kits are freaking like to the millionth of a millimeter. They're bang on. They're very good fitting kits. Very different from the model kits we had as a kid with the multiple sprue colors and the different colors of molding on plastic. And what these companies are doing now is they're able to mold and injection mold these colors, multiple colors on the same damn sprue, and that's freaking incredible. So here's a Black Series. All right, I need 3 more desks. The Black Series compared to the Bandai. So, without, some stock weathering, it's still very robot-y. So it doesn't look like a human underneath there, but, Black Series, they got it going on. Just a little extra paint details. I keep playing this damn music and it keeps stopping. loop, it's on loop. So if it stops looping, it's broken. So here is the Black Series speeder bike. Nice weathering on there. Decent weathering. I've seen better. I've done better. But I dig it, man. I think I only have 2 of these. And they were bought at Target when we still had Targets in Canada. And it is broken, but I also have a model kit. AMC, whoever made the model kit, MPC. Again, it's got some pieces broken off because it's gone through many moves. But here's where I got into, weathering and adding some little, silver. I think they turned out pretty good. But I do got to glue, many of the parts back on and whatnot. And there is a figure that's actually really, really ugly, but it works. It's in good scale. It's not the exact scale, but so if I start the back here, a little bit longer, but it works, man. In a display, you put it in the back. Pretty good kit. So if you don't have this kit, I highly recommend getting this. This is a little more complicated of a build. It's not a snap together. You got to glue the stuff. It's, the old school model kits. How they work, man. So let's move that guy. Let's move that guy. So there is Black Series, and here is the Bandai. So they're pretty close, even when it comes to the sculpt and the details. It's obviously some different colors and no paint in here. This might even come with stickers. I have to look, but the details are pretty good. And the quality of the plastic is good too. Oh, gosh, this just fell off. So I don't know how much of this build I'm getting through, but something to do, man. If 1,000 people watch this for an hour, I might have enough stuff to be monetized. Yes, if you haven't already, please hit that like button. Even if this sucks, man, that might get a couple more people in here. Algorithm stuff. Hey, what's going on, Mr. Ghosty? How you doing, Chris?
Good. We have decided to pack up and come over here.
Nice. Is Bob still going?
Yep, Bob hadn't finished his plane yet, so he's coming, and Darth Muzza is working on a Model 2, so he's coming in a sec.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. Those kits, aren't they supposed to take like 10 minutes?
Well, the one Bob's working on, yes.
What is this one? Is this another Harry Potter one?
Oh, hell no. This is that stupid Rivendell thing I've been working on all week.
Rivendell, that's Harry Potter, isn't it?
No, Lord of the Rings.
Oh, okay, my bad. Different fantasy world, my bad.
Same thing.
Just different height people.
Yeah,
different
exactly.
shapes of pointy ears.
More pointed ears and shorter people.
What do you got going on this weekend?
This.
Yeah?
I have, I'm on bag 11 of 14. And I'm going to save bag 14 for tomorrow for the Lego stream. But by the time I'm done, I think I'll put 30 to 32 hours into this set.
Oh my God, man.
It's 6,000 pieces.
And what's the weather like there? Is it summer there like it is here? Because it's hot.
Yes, it's summer here. Well, we've had a really nice weather. It's only supposed to be 77 today. It was almost just about 70 yesterday. It's been a really nice summer so far.
It's been, we're going on, I don't know how many days now without rain and stuff. So now we're here on the West Coast. We're going to start getting the forest fires and stuff. And sadly, in abundance, they happen, man. They happen by accident. They happen,
Well,
nature causes them, and then
just a accidental lightning strike will start them up.
yeah, but there's still lots of like just recently, maybe in the past couple of days, campfire bans are on, so it's still prime time camping season. But now you officially can't be having the campfires and stuff, which makes a lot of sense. But there's also a lot of stupid people, man, that can't read any of these languages or the diagrams on the signs, and they still make fires, man.
Yeah,
it happens. Have you built any of these Bandai kits?
No, I accidentally bought the Boba Fett one and sent it to Geeks to GeForce.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Not good at models, although those look really cool.
The figures are cool. They just, I don't know. They look, I don't know.
Weird.
Weird. Like they all the characters, even if they're humans or robots or aliens, they all look Asian. Like it's just a weird.
Huh.
The details incredible, but like the figure. I've got someone knocking on my door. The figure is very robot-y, like I don't know, but they're very well made. Like I've never broken one, but I'm sure if I drop them, they'll break.
Yeah. Yeah, I see them all the time, at Hobby Lobby and stuff, and I'm like, ooh, because they've got Transformer ones too that are really cool, and I'm like, ah.
But do they transform? That's my thing with Transformers.
I think so. I think they're just kind of slightly posable model kits.
And I get it. Like everyone loves the Transformers in the robot mode, but I also like Transformers in their vehicle or their alternate mode too. So
I've seen a couple of them that come with a robot and a car, and you build each of them.
Okay, that's cool. That I can see that.
Yeah,
I can see collecting and having a shelf of those, so you have the super duper details from these kits. So I don't know who else besides Bandai makes all these modern kits with like I was saying, how they mold the sprues now, and they can do chrome and silver and blue all on the same tree kind of thing. So, God dang it. So here's a good example. I'll move these instructions so you can see better. So here's this kind of gray color, and then we got the translucent color, and then we got this kind of brown color. Like that's the cat's ass. Like
yeah.
But these are frick, man. They're not quick little builds. Like, okay, this one's more of a PVC rubbery kind of thing. So we got some ball joints. So that was mostly for the figure, I guess. Yeah, man. It's just speeder bike parks I got. And yes, some of them are very, very, very small. Oh, that one looks like it's empty. All right, so let's keep the empty ones.
Okay.
Not empty. That is empty. That is also empty. Here's another example, some white and some kind of fake gold. Some black on there. So, like, I wonder if they're at this point when they make action figures now, like Hasbro and whatnot, if they're using multiple colors. Oh, see, I was right. There's
Bandai.
Yeah, but I wonder if Hasbro and Mattel and the toy companies are doing these multicolor sprues as well. That way, like here's one big steel mold,
Yeah.
So it just has 4 different color plastics injected into it. They're not making 4 different molds. So I wonder if the bigger toy companies are doing similar stuff.
Huh.
Okay, so now I don't know why there's 2. Because they're different, but they're not different.
Like Kibbles and Bits.
Oh, one is a water slide, and one is actually just peel and stick. That's interesting.
Huh.
Because I built a couple of droids, and they only had peel and stick, and that includes these very long stripes. But man, it's been a while since I did a water slide. These are cool.
Rum, aren't you going to come on? You said you were.
Morning, Bob. Good day, Muzza. Good to see you on there earlier. So, like the first time I ever went live on, I think Instagram years ago. It was a Christmas morning. It was snowing. I was out in the park. Muzz jumped on. That was the first time I ever met Darth Muzza. Like he's 18 hours ahead or something. It was.
Yeah.
All right, so let's. I got to see what page I'm on here.
This one has 200 and.
That's a hardcover book, right?
It could be. They could have actually mounted these in like a hardcover with leather and all that.
Yeah, this is only 16 pages. So I saw you did a stream with the Pop My Culture. You guys were talking indie. I haven't watched it yet, so I'm assuming you've seen it, right?
Oh yeah, I've seen it twice now. I'm seeing it again on Tuesday.
And thumbs up, right? Like you enjoyed it more than you didn't enjoy it for.
Yeah,
whatever.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too. I didn't see it in a theater, as many of you may know, but I did enjoy it, man. I couldn't wait to watch it. I do hope to go to a theater, and I'm assuming there'll be other people in there. I've seen some photos where people go to the theater and there's like 3 people there. But then I've seen photos of people in the theater and it was full. So
yeah, I'd say about half of our theater was full at each time I've seen it.
Because I know, there's less people going to the theaters now. It's just it's the sign of the times. And it depends on your community. If you live in a small town and like the only thing you can do in your small town is like go bowling or go to a movie, then I get it. Like there's gonna be more, outings. And even in the big cities, there's so many more people to go to these cinemas, and they have cinemas they can choose from.
Yeah. Oh, a buddy of mine runs a AMC. And he said it was not too far off what they'd predicted for it, because they had it in several houses. And so, if they'd only put it in like 2 houses, it would have been full almost every time. But they put it in 4 so that they can spread out the crowd.
How much is it to go to see a movie there in America?
$12. $5 on Tuesdays.
Yeah, I think it's $22.50 here.
It's 20 or 21 for IMAX.
Yeah, it's definitely more for the IMAX here too.
Yeah.
But the last time I went to, it's been a while, man. Like it was probably freaking Star Wars, and it's all like pre-order and pick your seat, and they can bring you beers and chicken wings now in our theaters. It's a little more of a pleasant experience, where you don't have to wait in lines and, that kind of stuff. You can show up 2 minutes before the movie and, get food delivered to you. But it's not cheap. Yeah. I can see if you're taking a family of 4 and buying everyone some, some chicken fingers or hot dogs or whatever you get, you're gonna be spending $100 and something bucks.
Yeah, easy.
And is there any new series that you're falling in love with?
No, I don't watch TV.
No, there hasn't been anything for me either. Like I always. Yeah, this StreamYard thing's very weird. I'm always looking for a good documentary, or like that's why I used to love. Well, not love, like Netflix, because at least they always had a stupid documentary come on, whether it's Tiger King or any stupid crap like that. It was entertaining and it kept me going during the lockdown. But now it's all crap, and I find Amazon Prime is all crap, and so I cut the cord on all of my subscription services except Amazon, because I do order shit from Amazon and I like free shipping.
Yeah.
Bob. Are you done building your Airfix?
Bob's done. Bob's done it.
You're doing it?
Bob's done it.
How many episodes did it take you?
Sorry about that. Bob had the own YouTube page open a donut, didn't he?
Yep.
Apologies, Rick. Apologies.
Oh, it's all good, man. I'm just trying to
you want to
make
see
those few hours.
You want to see what Bob did?
Absolutely.
There we go.
Do they come with a little stand too?
Yeah, isn't that cool?
I do like that.
Yeah. So that's the Harrier. This is what we did last week, the Spitfire.
And those are like peel and stick stickers, or are they like water slide?
No, they're peel and stick, but they're tiny. No dissimilar to your standard kits, but I just find them really difficult. But I did the G-force trick of using the
tip of your knife,
the X-Acto knife. Yeah, this time.
Yeah, being in the sticker making business for many years, that is the way.
But these sets are a lot of fun. Good for beginners. Perfect for me to start out.
So I've seen those in our Michael's craft stores here, because we really don't have like hobby stores anymore like we used to when I was a kid. Model stores, like we still have Toys R Us, but they suck balls and they don't carry model kits and stuff like that. I still have a big box of model kits down in my storage locker there. Most of my model kits from my youth are half built. Very rarely did I finish, much like today. Very rarely do I finish a build. So that's the Bob in me. I'm not going to say I'm slow at building. I'm not building to the worst degree.
No, I've got a couple of those Bandai Star Wars kits. I've got a couple of the droids, and if I'm right, they're quite a decent match for the 6-inch scale, I think, aren't they?
They are. They're actually a little bit better, not better scale, but I got a couple of the black ones, like a black R2 unit and a black R5 unit. And the difficulty with me building those is like every single piece is black. Yeah. Every piece. And you're looking at it and you're like zooming in. You're like, oh, you got to find the right. It's my eyes, like my eyesight's it's still pretty good, but I mean, you can't see black on black on black is very hard to see. So this was the first one I built that wasn't all black. And it was a little easier, but still, so many little tiny pieces where you need a little tweezer just to put it in. And many hours of patience. So I don't know if StreamYard just wants me to pay to play this music, but it keeps stopping.
With the background music?
Yeah.
Have you put it on a loop?
Yeah.
Huh.
4 times now.
Weird.
Okay, so it's on loop.
I had some issues yesterday on my stream.
Freaking StreamYard.
I did as well. I think it's playing up a little bit at the moment.
So I've seen some people on the YouTubes, like not within our, our community of friends and stuff that we chill out with, where they'll share their StreamYard accounts and they'll just have all their intros and videos and pictures and whatnot on there because, I don't think there's a limit.
Yeah.
You can have a lot of little background videos and musics and overlays and whatnot. So I might be willing to do that with somebody because I just don't think it's worth the $20 that I was paying for over a year just to be able to put my logo in the corner instead of a freaking duck. Like literally the only, and I can change the picture in the background, but none of it's HD, 4K, and I'm like, really? Like, so I got misled.
I think I'm even paying the next one up from that because if I'm right, because the next one up from that allows you to have 10 guests on, which I've needed to do for the Lego studs because we've had, like loads of people wanted to come on for that. So God knows how much that costs. I don't think I even checked, to be honest.
Well, when I signed up, there was like, okay, you pay your $20 a month, or pay $100 for the year or something like that, and you save $20, whatever it was. But yeah. I'm like, whatever. I don't even know how this works, so I'm going to try the monthly thing. And I did it for about a year, and I don't know, man. Like, it's just to have my logo in the corner. I was really disappointed at the low resolution. But I do like the ease of having multiple guests on here and pulling up the chat when it works. And I don't know, it seems to be the easiest no-brainer version for me to use. But I know there's there's other streaming platforms that people can use to do this, right? They weren't the first and they won't be the last.
Well, there's OBS. There's all kinds of them.
I do like the OBS and I've used it lots, but I'm uneducated in how to use the OBS to bring multiple people on like this. I do not know how to do that.
Yeah.
It's like HTML++ programming stuff that I know it's not, but it feels like it to me. So this has a cool little base that I don't know how it attaches, but I'm assuming it's something like that.
Oh, that's cool. It's like, yeah, they've made it look like a tree stump. Yeah, Bandai's a great company, man. They make some cool shit.
I'm trying to see how this attaches. Very interesting.
I like collecting the old 1980s Sofubi.
Sofubis?
Yeah, I've got a little collection I've been growing for a while. Mostly Ultraman Kaiju. They're all like from the 80s. They're like 6-inch. They're PVC, so there's no articulation. They're just really cheap, like all-in-one plastic figures. But the designs are just crazy. All those Ultraman Kaiju from, I don't know when they filmed them in the 60s or the 70s. They're just crazy designs, and you can tell they were like designed to be people in suits, with miniatures, like walking around miniature sets,
Yeah.
But there's hundreds of kaiju, literally hundreds, and they've all got crazy name like Gozotron and Goltron, and they've all got like fish claws or like fish heads or.
We have to have a new one for Power Rangers and Rider and all those every flipping episode.
Like Ultraman and
Ultraman and Godzilla and
we didn't have all that in Canada. We had like raccoons and Bob and Doug McKenzie and polka dot door, like, no fancy space robots, and and then all the American cartoons, whether it's G.I. Joe or Mr. T. Remember the Happy Days cartoon?
Yeah.
Where they flew around in some kind of spaceship,
and Laverne and Shirley go to the army.
Yeah, and then Fonzie had a little dog. That's one of my all-time favorite cartoon characters, is Fonzie's little dog that I can't remember his name of.
Gilligan's Island in space.
Gilligan's Island had a cartoon as well?
Yep. They are rescued from the island or something
that's
like
right.
that, and then they get on a trip to the moon, and then they get lost in space.
That's incredible.
Not to be confused with Josie and the Pussycats in space.
Yeah, some of the cartoons had a short life, but like, how many seasons do you think they had of, Happy Days cartoon or
one?
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of the cartoons, even like the ones that had action figure kinds and stuff, still only had like 1 year of, or 22 or 16 episodes of animations. It was pretty funny.
Yeah,
they wanted more, but
when you go back and you watch stuff like Space Ghost, and you must think there's hundreds of episodes, and there's like 14.
Really, eh?
Yeah, it's like crazy, and they just would rerun them over and over and over and over again.
Okay, so I think I'm at the point now where I put on the tiniest of the tiny bits, which is probably why I stopped before.
Yeah. That's why I stopped. I got frustrated with the small pieces. And
so Muzza's like, I need to borrow his Optivisor. I had to Google that to see what it was. I'm not that old, Muzza. I can do this. I can zoom in with my camera.
Did you see Muzza's desk setup? He's got
that was pretty badass.
Paints, and he's got all his kit set up. He's like proper pro. His Muzza.
All right, I'm looking for sea tree. Man, I cannot find sea tree. You got anything going on this weekend, Bob?
It's Saturday. It's 6:30 now over here in England, so pretty chilled evening. And it's normally the same thing. Like I do some gaming. I watch you, then I watch Vern on at 8. And then I like catching up on. I like watching all these homesteader YouTubers. Where they're like these couples in America or in Portugal, and they go off grid and they build like these little tiny houses, and they dig their own well and put solar panels up. And there's 3 or 4 of these channels that I watch, so I like catching up on them, and just find it fascinating. You can't really do that in England. Like they're quite strict around where you can live, and there isn't a lot of land to buy, so
the council would have none of that.
No. So but I really like the idea of it. Like there's 2 channels I watch, and it's 2 couples, but one of the couples is a brother and the other couple is a sister from the other couple, and together they got together and bought some land in Arkansas. But it's this beautiful wooded area, and there's a stream running through it, and one of them's building a house. They call it a shed to house. So they've bought a shed and they're converting it into a tiny house.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then the other couple are building their own like cabin, and then they've dug a well, and they're sort of sharing utilities, and proper cool. They've got chickens and they've got goats. It's just crazy. Like I really like the idea of that. It feels very far removed from how I live, but I really like the idea. It's probably a romanticized view of it. Like it's probably really hard, but I like the idea of it.
Yeah, I watched a lot of YouTubers like that as well. There's a young guy here from British Columbia. Destination Adventure is his YouTube channel, and he lives in his truck, in his Winnebago, his trailer.
Yeah.
He's got a couple of sponsors. They give him a nice. He's got like a boat, a big inflatable boat that he trails behind him. GoPro cameras, a little electric mountain bike that you can kind of scoot around in when the road ends. And he goes fishing, and he goes to checks out glaciers and rural parts of Alaska, and he's been all over North America and stuff. It's just a lot of fun. And if you look at when these guys started, maybe only like 5, 6, 7 years ago, just filming from their iPhone or from a little GoPro, to what they have become, to have like hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and it's now their full-time income is putting up videos on YouTube every weekend after a week of camping and fishing and life on the road, so to speak, and going to different destinations, whether they be touristy kind of places that most people can go to, or even cooler places that no one knows about or ever been to before, like a crashed plane up in a mountain somewhere, or ghost towns that people don't know about. I would love to do that stuff, man. It would be freaking awesome. But just living on the road, or like you said, living in a small homestead in a little piece of land in the middle of Tuktoyaktuk or middle of Nowhereville, that would be tough. Not having people and not being able to walk to Walmart to get a bag of potato chips, or it would be tough, man.
Very, yeah. There's
grow your own potatoes.
There's actually one channel I watch, and it's a young couple, and they're in Canada. I think they're in British Columbia. It's they're in the mountains, very dense woods, and they've built a house, and they've got goats, and they log. They're doing a lot of logging to clear the land around their house, and they use all the wood for building their like a little barn, but they're constantly having, with all the snow, they have to basically keep maintaining their road like down the mountain. So half the time they're like using the tractor to like keep the road shored up, and but it is beautiful. Like, it's absolutely stunning, and so they also have the benefit of, like, they've built their own little outdoor spa, and they're like just in nature, and of course there's bears and stuff around that they have to keep an eye out for, but just crazy.
Yeah, those are by far some of my favorite YouTube content to watch, because when they get popular and their cameras get better and they get more experience in their filming skills, their cinematography skills, we call it, and then they're editing and putting together, whether they're doing a voiceover or adding in graphics. It's amazing, man, because some of these are super high level talented people, like, in their experience shows, and it makes me want to not only just do that for a living or a hobby, even if it ends up being, but just travel. It just gives me that bug to travel, whether it's in a van or a train or a plane or a boat, just going out and enjoying what's out there, because life is short, man. If you don't get to, like, I'm pissed off still I didn't get to go to London for the Star Wars celebration, but I'm not pissed off because I missed the Star Wars convention. I'm pissed off because it was a good opportunity to meet a bunch of my new friends and Star Wars community from the UK. That what a prime opportunity to meet those people.
Yeah.
So that's where and even in like the ICC and how that went too, like, not so much for all the cool vintage toys and stuff, but just meeting, the community that we've all got to know. That's the part that I miss. What's going on, Vern? Vern's pissed off.
What about now?
I don't know. It says Vern pissed off is greater than. I see Rum has no comment.
I'm being good. I'm on good behavior.
I had some American hot dogs yesterday, Bob. You'd be proud.
Oh, the microwave ones.
No, I when I was younger, like shit in my early 20s when I was working at this t-shirt place, that was something I did try because I had a coworker, this big giant native guy. He went over to the grocery store across the street, bought a package of hot dogs, like 12 wieners, and a package of buns, like 12 buns. And he would take a hot dog bun, put an uncooked wiener in it, wrap it in a paper towel, and stick it in the microwave for like 2 minutes. And I'm eating my lunch, whether it was Mr. Noodles or chicken noodle soup or something. And he's doing this. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? You're microwaving a hot dog? He's like, yeah, it's awesome. You got to try it. So he gave me one, and it didn't suck. Like I had a microwave hot dog, but I never did it again.
Man, I've got an addiction to these bloody American hot dogs. They're like, they are probably the worst thing you could ever have. Like, God knows what's in them, but like they're like 99p or something, 1.99 in a little plastic container. Peel the plastic off, stick it in the microwave for 60 seconds. They come with a mustard sachet and a tomato sauce sachet, and Bob's your uncle and Fanny's your aunt.
We don't have those. We don't have that here.
We don't have that.
Oh man,
I know we got the Vienna wieners in a can, like meat in a can. That's not my thing. Although as a kid, I was a fan of the Spam.
Love Spam.
American hot dogs. American hot dogs. Get inside of me. American hot dogs. Sleep inside of me.
I should send a Facebook message to Burton Cummings, the original writer of that American Woman song, and see if he could do a new version just for you, Bob.
Well, yeah, but I'm a superstar, so I can just do my own version, Rick.
But you could do a duet with him.
Yeah.
Can't find my side snips. So these will have to
go. Oh. Careful. American hot dogs.
Yeah, I don't have. I'm on a apartment and I don't have a barbecue. Haven't had one in a few years since I lived here. I miss barbecued meat. So my American hot dog's got to be, fried in a pan. Unfortunately,
grilled.
I'm not a boiled meat guy.
No. Who is? Frankly, no. Did Mr. Blobby make it to Canada, Rick?
No, thankfully.
he missed.
No, he could have, but I don't remember him at all from my childhood. We had Pokeroo.
He was saved.
So Pokeroo, much like Mr. Blobby, is just a big, fat, colorful character on the children's program, The Polka Dot Door. So he's like Grimace covered in polka dots, but even weirder. Yeah, Blobby would get banned from our schools. I don't know, he would. We had much worse.
Mr. Blobby says he forgives you for calling him fat.
Is he fat? I guess he's round. And round is a shape.
He says he forgives you.
So did he speak or sing or anything?
Oh, yeah, he had a hit record, which Ghost is now the proud owner of a 45 of. And it goes something like this. Mr. Blobby, 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 Blobby. Mr. Blobby, 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 Blobby.
Doom, 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 doom.
Okay.
Yeah, but the indoor grill is just a frying pan with ridges on it. It doesn't have flames coming through it. Yeah, bacon. Just add bacon to it, and it tastes just as good. Hello there.
Hello there.
Yeah, he makes some fun videos because he's I think he likes the vintage collection more than he likes actual vintage stuff. But I like how he compares the two and and shows all the different R2D2s, and yeah, it made good content, sir. Keep it up.
Who's that only one?
Only one.
Well,
what is his real name?
You can't. I know, but I can't say because.
Oh, is it like secret? Secret stuff?
No, I don't think so. But anyway, you can't really speak of Only One without talking about his most famous episode he's ever done on this channel, which is the Magnet episode. You seen that? Magnets in Star Wars. But Only One brings them to life by utilizing the magnet as a means to straighten a warped or a bent card back. And he spends about an hour demonstrating. Well, it's actually longer than an hour because he uses the magnets to press cards, and he comes back a week later. Then he comes back like 4 weeks later. Then it's like 6 weeks later he returns to see whether or not the creases have been removed.
Oh, was there singing involved? I've seen him do some singing.
After about 12 weeks of experimenting with magnets, we're kind of left on inconclusive as to whether magnets are useful or not to straighten card backs. But
I use books.
Oh, books are included in this experiment. He uses multiple, but he gets fixated on magnets there for a while.
Believe it or not, you know what works is an iron, but don't put water in it. Don't use the steam part of the steaming machine. Just the heat, and then quickly shove it in the middle of the Read 5 Designs book, because it's like the size of a small van, and it will make anything flat.
Well, I'm pretty sure I might be the only person that finds the whole magnet thing funny. I don't know why anyone else doesn't, but I seem to be the only one that ever goes on about it. Everyone else thinks it's totally normal, I think, but
anything that you can do to stick them two together and make it all together.
Anyway, it provided
you get a couple.
We liked it.
Popsicle sticks.
We like the magnets. We like the magnets episodes.
This is tedious.
I don't like these snippers. I don't like them, I tell you. Bob, did you see Indy?
Haven't seen it. I haven't been to the cinema since COVID.
No, me either.
I kind of can't be bothered. I think I'll just wait until it comes out, to be honest.
There are certain movies that need to be seen in the theater.
Star Wars is probably
Star Wars,
probably the only one.
Mission Impossible, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Those I would say are must-sees in the theater.
Star Wars or Alien. If there was a new Alien movie, I'd probably go.
Or most Christopher Nolan movies, because he shoots so well for the big screen.
You get deafened though. The sound is inaudible.
Well, don't go to the IMAX versions. Just go to the normal ones.
He purposely does that as well. Like, he has this technique where he's like, if you don't need to hear the dialogue for the story to make sense, he'll muffle the dialogue, and you're left there wanting to hear it. And he's like, I heard this interview where he's like, well, no, it's this technique that this filmmaker did. Like, I can't remember who he named someone, and he purposely makes it inaudible. Like he did it in what was the space one?
Interstellar.
I mean, you can't. Half of the conversations in that you can't actually hear what they're saying. And people were saying, "Oh, it's because he can't mix properly." No, he did it on purpose.
Yeah.
It was like it's not important what they're saying. It's like
mostly
what they're doing is
doing the mixing, so he just gives them directions.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to right now Rebel Moon. Just a new science fiction
I'm looking forward to that
movie that was, let's just say, it was a Star Wars movie until they said, no, we don't want you to make a Star Wars movie, and he's made it anyway.
Yeah,
that looks
that
good.
will be badass. I think it'll be very good.
Yeah,
and, I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm hyped for that one as well, actually.
So, and what's the other? Gareth Edwards. He's also doing a cool science fiction movie.
Yeah, I saw that too.
But yeah, these guys are talented filmmakers, man. Even if they don't have like the mouse backing them up. Yeah, Gareth Edwards, and then what's the DC guy's name? Zack Snyder, is that who it is?
Yeah, Zach's got some new trash coming.
June 2, I'm a big June fan, so I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with the second one.
I don't even understand. I'm so confused here. Okay, so if my Japanese reading is correct, this goes here. Nope. This goes here. Nope. Wow, man, this is... I'm sure I don't know. Really? That's... I'm gonna break this before I even finish it.
Whoops.
That can't be right. Let's try this one. That's what that is? That's insane.
Listen to the dub plate.
I'm going to spend 1 hour on section 15-1. No glue required. Oh my God, man. These are the smallest. Oh, the smallest pieces in the whole damn kit.
Gap says, Rum, you could read the chat since you're not building anything. There we go. Done it for you. He's on the attack. The Gap attack.
Oh, Chris is slapping on all the stickers now.
Yeah, I've got a whole bunch of that floor done.
Did either of you guys get that little Death Star trench run Lego set?
No, I was
That
going.
looks
Cool.
cool.
I decided I didn't have anywhere to put it.
That looks cool. I really like that.
I think
G-Force
G-Force built it, I think.
I think he's gotten most of those little sets.
Yeah.
And the one I've been looking for that I haven't seen is the little speeder bike one.
That's what he's building now, the
Yeah.
Endor one.
Yeah, that looks super awesome. So I would get, if I saw those and they weren't $100, I would get them.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure they are like $100, aren't they?
60, 70, I don't know actually. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, Lego
Well, everything's more expensive in Canada, so
Yeah.
everything's
You never
$100.
tell between Canada and Australia who's going to have the most crazy prices.
It is crazy. Now you guys are, I'm seeing people posting Targets or clearancing all their Indiana Jones retros and all that stuff for $5.99.
They're
We don't even
clearancing
have-
everything.
We don't even have those in Canada yet. Like, because
Jurassic Park, McFarlane, The Flash, Batman, He-Man, a lot of WWE. I would say, from what I saw over the past couple of days, at least 30% of the entire toy department is on clearance, getting ready for the new changeover. Tons of Barbie on clearance, lots of Disney on clearance.
July. Oh, I saw a bunch of new Barbie movie toys today, and it did not look like the two actors. So I'm actually very surprised they're actually not making product that looks like the actors. I kind of thought that was the whole point of the merchandise that they're making, but no, it's a Barbie from the Barbie movie, but it's just the same Barbie mold. And Ken from the Barbie movie, it's just the same Ken mold. Like, it doesn't look like Ryan Gosling at all. Like, but I don't know. That looks to me like it'll be a funny movie, and I really am looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's gonna crush everything in its path.
Well, watch it make $900 billion in opening 6 hours. Like didn't that freaking not Donkey Kong? Didn't Mario Brothers? Isn't that one of the bigger movies of 2023 now for making the monies?
Yeah, I think last time I knew, it was closing in on $2 billion.
Wow, really crazy.
Yeah, I think it's the biggest one of the year, and I think indie is starting to catch up and make a couple bucks now. Like, I don't know all the rules on sharing, PO box numbers or all the different monies they make internationally in North America, but I still see people posting, like, every time I look on any social media, oh, I'm going here, got my tickets for Indiana Jones tonight. So it's still going. Like, it's not a 1 week and then done kind of thing. It's not going to be on Disney Plus until like Christmas time, is what I'm saying. Like, it needs its month or two in the cinema to make its
Mario Brothers has made $1.3 billion.
Wow.
But it is now on TV now, isn't it?
It's on Max, I think.
Like for rent or like
watch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But it lasted a good 3 months in the cinema, right?
Well, it came out April 5th, so yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's still the number one movie of the year.
Yeah, it doesn't. I will one day watch it, but it's not high on my priority list. Like, I'm not a big Nintendo kid, so.
Guardians 3 is number 2. Across the Spider-Verse is number 3. 4 is The Little Mermaid. 5 is Avatar. 6 is Ant-Man. 7 is John Wick. 8 is Creed. 9 is Fast and the Furious. And number 10 is Transformers.
Yeah, I don't know why I have no desire for the Transformers one.
Because it's Michael Bay crap.
Yeah, or the Fast and the Furious one, no desire. Yeah, I guess I'm holding up for
that $175 million.
Jeez. Peacock, August 3rd, Mario movie. Good day, Connor. How you doing?
Oh, yeah, Peacock's got it too, and it's on Vudu as well. Vudu, you can rent it.
So Gap says, I should be reading stuff out because I'm not building, and Vern wants to know if I finished his intro song. And then within a second of him writing that, Vern wrote no answer. So Gap said, I see what that means no. I've been patiently waiting for break in the conversation, politely, to be able to answer it because it's changing the conversation.
Well, that's not going to happen with me and Rick.
I know. But to clarify, I did write Vern an intro song. It's called Oakhurst Warzone. I sent it to him. It's on my YouTube channel, and he actually turned his nose up at it. So there you go. So I did do one, Vern, ages ago. It's called Oakhurst Warzone. You can listen to it on my SoundCloud account. And there's a lyric-only video on my channel in my Monkeyless Music playlist. And Vern didn't like it, which is fine. No one has to like everything I do. So there you go. I did make one for Vern.
I can't wait to see it.
Thank you very much.
And listen to it and like it. I think indie will make its money back. I really do. Like, it won't be on DVD sales because that's not really a thing anymore.
Yeah.
Movies used to make huge bank when they released them to physical media, VHS, DVD, Blu-ray. They always did, even until like the Star Wars sequels. They sold a lot of freaking media, and they still do. It's one of those properties that, I don't know, people still buy the media from. There's a lot of properties like that. But I think the Indiana Jones will, if they say it cost $350,000 to make, or sorry, $350 million to make, it will for sure make that money back. It probably made that money back just in ticket pre-sales.
Well, with merch and everything, when everything comes in, I'm sure it'll make some money.
I also think that there's people may disagree with me, but I think there's certain people in the industry, and let's call him Harrison Ford. I think he gets like a penny off every freaking bucket of popcorn.
Oh, no doubt.
Sold at a theater where his movie is playing.
He got $15 million just for the movie.
Yeah, so like, you know, part of that $350 million movie budget is paying Harrison Ford's freaking salary and his hospital bill when, you know, he probably got hurt. Like doesn't he break something every movie he films now?
Yeah.
A leg, like the Millennium Falcon door fell on his leg, and then he crashed his airplane. Yeah, he gets. If these movies lose money, it's because they got to frickin' pay for Harrison Ford to be air flown to a hospital in the middle of nowhere. And I've been watching all these interviews with him now that I've seen the movie, and I'm not worried about little things getting spoiled. I've been watching all the interviews they've been doing on their, you know, their worldwide tour, and he's freaking having a blast. Like,
oh yeah,
you can tell it's not fake. You know, he's not acting.
I wouldn't say he looks like he's having a blast. I mean, he's always pretty like dour, isn't he?
Did you see him with Conan O'Brien?
I've been watching him on all the.
My God,
because now Conan does the podcast, right?
But he's
he's got his own podcast and does stuff. And he's quite a riot.
Yeah,
so he's quite low, quite like dour in the sense that, you know, like he's not a bundle of joy, is he? Like he
has a very dry sense of humor.
Yeah,
that some people don't get, and I think he's a riot.
I do too. I've always been a huge fan of Harrison. He does remind me of my dad a lot, like in just his mannerisms and his look. He's a tough and gritty old man kind of thing. Even though he wasn't always an old man, always older than me. So
yeah.
You
watched 1923?
Yeah.
I swear he only took that job because he got to sit down for most of it.
I want to watch that. That's the cowboy one, right?
Yeah, it's good. I hope they better get a second season.
Okay,
supposed to. Huh?
That one's related to the Yellowstone, right? Like,
yeah, it's the sequel to it's the prequel to Yellowstone, and then 1883 is the prequel to 1923.
So I saw that one.
83.
Yeah, the one without Harrison Ford.
Yeah, with Sam Elliott.
Yeah, that was freaking brilliant, man. That was cool television. I did get a lot out of that.
That was the most annoying TV I have watched in ages.
My dad would have loved that. My dad grew up. My dad was a big fan of like Bonanza.
Yeah.
So Lauren Green and Michael Landon cowboy shows back in the day.
Yeah, my dad loves Rawhide and all those.
Yeah.
The problem is with it is that they should have said it in, 1843.
Okay.
Because in 1883 there was no need for them to make that trip at all. They could have done all of that by train.
Okay.
And, Sam Elliott's like, there's no post between here and Wyoming. Yeah, there was. It's called Denver, and it had 100,000 people in it by that time. And, I don't understand why those people didn't get on a train and take the train over.
So you guys can't even make historically accurate films about your own bloody country.
Oh, no, it was. But the problem is that 98% of the thing was historically accurate. Their outfits were right. The wagons were right. All that what they talked about was right. The problem is they kept saying things like, we can't get supplies. Well, why not? Just go up about 4 hours to Abilene and get supplies.
Yeah, okay.
That's the thing that bugged me the most. Because every time they're like, we're all gonna die here. Well, you don't need to. I'm sure for the plot it makes a lot more sense for you to, but you don't have to die here if you don't want to.
Anyway, Harrison Ford, right? This is controversial. I don't think he's really been good in anything since what was that film he did where he's on the run and he's got one leg and he jumps on the waterfall.
What? He doesn't have one leg. He's
One arm?
trying to track the one-armed man who killed his wife.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's so wrong with his leg. Doesn't he have one
Fugitive.
leg?
Fugitive.
Fugitive. He hasn't been good at anything since The Fugitive.
Yeah,
I don't know. I even liked him in that movie with Ellen DeGeneres' dead ex-wife. That plane crash kind of movie.
Mm-hmm.
He does good in those kind of movies too. Like he's not just the action kind of superstar, but he's funny. He's got he's definitely got that the charisma and
He calls it in a bit, doesn't he? Though I mean, I don't know. I can't think of anything.
if he can get away with it, I agree.
If he can, why wouldn't he?
He didn't really do anything in Star Wars. He didn't do anything in Blade Runner, really.
I thought he did fantastic in the Blade Runner 2049, where he wasn't the main character in the movie, but he had a huge impact on that movie, and I freaking loved that.
Until he did American Graffiti, he wasn't really a star of anything.
No, that was his first.
He was a TV actor.
Yeah, that was his first credited kind of show, right? Like
big role. And
I
then,
saw one interview.
Star Wars after that, and Blade Runner and Indy.
Into Hollywood land as a young man, he got a job at like one of the TV studios where they just pay you like $75 a week, and you just go in whatever TV shows and movies they tell you to.
Exactly.
So you don't get the credit and lots of experience, but I mean that's how he started, which is amazing.
He was good in like Clear and Present Danger. That was after The Fugitive.
Oh no, those ones were before.
Air Force One was great.
Those ones, that era, that was the last time. That was the last time.
How cool will he be as the Red Hulk?
That'll be interesting.
I reckon that's going to be shocking. That's going to be shocking.
It's going to be epic.
I mean, I give you that he doesn't do. That was after he kind of retired for a little while.
He did that weird, he did a terrible film called Firewall.
Firewall was not very good.
Terrible.
Okay,
Cowboys and Aliens. Terrible.
I wish that one was better. I really do. I was hoping it would have been so fun, and it wasn't.
He had a string of really bad movies.
Ender's Game wasn't that great.
That's not good.
But it wasn't. I don't think it had anything to do with him. It's the movies are bad.
I don't think he was very good in Force Awakens.
Well, that's because he didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
So Gap is commenting about me forgetting about the advertising costs and the marketing for Indy 5. Here's how I look at that. The production department of Lucasfilm, who produced and directed Indy 5, they do not pay for marketing of that film. That marketing budget, I believe, would come out of the Mouse's pocket.
Yeah.
Their parent company. So I don't. That doesn't count to me because it's.
What?
That's how I look at that.
How do you run a profit on your business, Rick?
Not by having Mickey Mouse cover all the costs of everything, but that's how
everything they own, they would give a discount to.
You deduct
but if Lucasfilm was the only company and parent company, then yes, they would be paying the marketing and the electricity bill and but when you're owned by someone else, that's part of their budget. If you want to have Indiana Jones walk around the Disney parks, that's part of Disney's budget, which they're doing now for like a month only, which is this. They should have started doing that 9 months ago when Mando was walking around the park. Start having Indiana Jones guy walking around the park. Oh, we got a new movie coming out this summer. Let's get everyone hyped and take some pictures and post it on your TikToks and whatnot. But no, they did it like June 15th to 30th only. And I'm like, that's so stupid, man. Like, you could have had millions of people promoting this movie for free for you.
Yep.
So I don't think I'm the world's smartest marketing person, but I'm in the top 3. So eat that, Mickey Mouse.
Uh-huh.
That's part of it too. I think a lot of these remakes and reboots and whatnot are starting to get tiresome because they're not all good. Only some of them are binge worthy if they're a series, or popcorn bucket worthy if they're in the theaters. Like that Ghostbusters remake with the all female cast, that was
Terrible.
it was actually bad, and it didn't do well. So when this new one came out, it was like, oh, how's it going to do? It was a brilliant movie, and I think it did pretty well.
I still haven't seen that.
It didn't scare me away from the theater, like because the last one's bad.
It was good, Bob. You'd like it.
And the same with Crystal Skull. Like I enjoyed that immensely. It was a new Indiana. It was the last Indiana Jones movie at the time, and now that this new one has come out, I like that one a little better now. I've watched it since then, and it's neat to go back and see Harrison Ford, 20 years ago and 30 years ago, and then I kind of did my own little comparison of the de-aging, and I thought they did great, man. Like they did it for like 20 minutes too. It's not like a quick little scene. It was 20 minutes of de-aged Harrison Ford. Like it was like a mini
and Toby
retro movie.
Toby was de-aged too.
Yeah, and he looked great.
So it's we had two completely de-aged characters on the screen at the exact same time.
But if they've done that,
and then whenever Mad was on, Mad was de-aged as well.
Yes, but he's already super young looking even now, so they probably didn't have to do much with him.
Yeah.
If they've done that for 20 minutes for those 3 or 4 characters, then that's what they've got planned. What they're going to do for Star Wars when they inevitably bring Luke and Han and everyone back. They're going to do that, aren't they?
I think it's a good test, Bob. I think for sure, like it's not like an option that they're not going to ever use. They're until they perfect it. So when I saw this for 20 minutes, or even before the movie came out, we kind of knew from spoilers that there was 20 minutes of it were like flashback kind of thing. And so I kind of knew that going into it, but boom, I was blown away. I'm like, it was all action too. It was like 20 minutes of young Indiana Jones, punching Nazis in the nose. And it was I thought it was awesome, man. So I can expect at least 20 minutes of like younger Jedi Luke in the upcoming Ahsoka series. Guaranteed. So does that mean we could see a de-aged Harrison Ford in a future Star Wars project?
Why not? They've already done it.
I think it's almost confirmed now. And a lot of these interviews with Harrison, I've been hearing like, are you going to retire? People kind of asking not so directly. He's not going to retire as long as there's someone willing to pay him $20 million to be in a movie. He'll do it. Like that's
he has Indiana Jones, 1923, and that Apple project he did too that everybody said is hilarious.
Oh, that where he's like a shrink
psychiatrist or something. Yeah,
that's supposed to be very, very, very good. And the other show I haven't watched a second of that I'm hearing right now is the best show of the year is called The Bear.
Oh yeah, people love The Bear.
And it's a cooking show, if I'm not mistaken, a restaurant kind of themed show.
Yeah,
but great cast, and apparently it's brilliant, and it doesn't look like it's my type of show, but I think once I watch it, I'm gonna like it because I already know I like several of the actors in it.
Yeah,
I've been watching The Silo on Apple. That's good.
Silo, okay. Haven't heard that.
Have you not? It's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I hear you, Gab. I just don't like people making all these comparisons to
half the stuff
people made 20 years ago.
I don't watch television, so I don't even know some of the stuff exists until it starts. I'm like, whoa, what?
Silo's kind of got like a bit of a Lost vibe. They're underground. It's Earth, but a different future Earth, and there's been some kind of nuclear Armageddon, and so there's a whole community of 10,000 people that are living underground, but they've been through a couple of generations now, and no one knows. They've banned all history, so no one knows how they got down there. There's no artifacts from Earth, and so they're all just living in this community with this generator that's powering them, and they're not allowed to ask or
let me out.
Yeah, if they say the words I want to go out, they have to be let out. And at the very top level, they're not sure whether it's a window or whether it's a TV screen. It looks like a window out, and when the person goes out, after about a minute, they just collapse and die. So,
yeah, I watched one episode.
Yeah, it's cool.
Cool. I haven't watched another. Like, it didn't. I don't know. It didn't pull me in enough. Like, a lot of the actors in that show like live here in Vancouver, so I see them in all these made in Canada science fiction shows. So I don't know. It's. I might give it another try because I hear you guys. Some people talking good things about the Silo show, but I don't know, man. It hasn't pulled me in yet. Gap's asking for upcoming stuff. The Rebel Moon, I was saying earlier, that's the one I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, it's really
because
good.
It's going to be the only other movie I've ever seen with laser swords that are prominent. Like, so I don't know if they're going to call the bad guys like,
what's the Gareth Edwards one called?
Or or Jedis, or if they're gonna what the words they're going to use, but it looks a lot like Star Wars. How about you, Gap? What are you looking forward to? I don't think you can call movies that make hundreds of millions of dollars bombs. Like, these movie theater owners, they just paid their mortgage for the next 3 months because Indiana Jones came out. Like,
I mean, it's made $175 million in a week. So it only came out on the 30th of June.
Yeah, it just came out Friday here. Like, and it came out 3 days earlier in the UK.
Yeah, and it hasn't even really. Most of the Asian market hasn't even opened yet.
Yeah, I think they're in kind of a holiday right now too.
It's called The Creator, the Gareth Edwards one.
The Creator, yeah, that trailer looks pretty cool. And believe it or not, I'm actually looking forward to Dune Part 2. Like,
definitely,
just because I fell asleep Part 1 every time I watched it, but I have finally watched it all.
Oh, feels good.
It was well made. Like, I'm all for the space adventures and high budget cinematography and special effects. Yeah, the actors are okay. Like, I don't know. We got Batista and Jason Momoa.
Skarsgård is brilliant as Harkonnen. He's just brutal, absolutely brutal. He's a standout.
Yes, correct. Like, I do too, Cap. You even want to call me a Disney insider myself. So, has there been a Transformers movie that wasn't made by super action fun guy? What's his name?
No, Michael Bay has produced at least all of them. He didn't direct Bumblebee or this one. But
and then Bumblebee was the one I kind of liked.
Bumblebee was good.
It just kind of had more of that retro 80s vibe to it. I don't know, in my opinion, but I'll eventually watch that Transformers movies. I just want to hear that sound.
Well, I want to see how they're pulling it into G.I. Joe before the next movie comes out.
I think it made $102 million in America in one day, Gap, or one weekend, because I think that's when they get numbers, is on Mondays. Hey, Miriam, how are you doing?
Hey, Miriam. I'm gonna head off as
well.
It
had like a 14% drop.
Cheers, Moza.
Like the Flash that had a 80% drop.
Good talking to you, boys. I'm gonna bid you a fond farewell and say adieu.
See ya.
Yeah, cheers, Bob. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out for a bit.
Sorry I overlapped with you slightly. I don't want to do that. I'm going to make sure I don't do that next week. And you have a habit of changing your time a little bit, don't you? And
well, I kind of ask people to join me and don't get replies for 7 days. So then I'm like, okay, well then I still want to make a video or be on a stream. So maybe I got to stop asking like the world's most famous people to be on my streams. But
well, you never. I would like to say that you never actually asked me to come on. I just came on. I've been waiting for my invite. I've never actually had one.
It'll happen. Like I said, I need one video to get 1,000 hours of views because I don't want to wait 9 more months to get monetized on YouTube. It does feel a lot like I'm wasting time sometimes.
I've been playing a waiting game, Rick. You know, I had you as my guest on Monkey Lizard Hangout. I've been waiting for over a year, and I've seen all these people come on and thinking, I wonder if Rick, doesn't like my kind. Maybe it's a Monkey Lizard thing. Maybe he just doesn't like, or maybe I've got BO, or I don't know.
Well, wasn't your episode of Monkey Lizard Hangout with me like your most viewed video ever on the YouTubes?
Exactly. I was thinking, well, he's bound to invite me on, after, and,
absolutely.
But no. So,
Vern,
exactly.
I have to invite Vern on because I didn't ask him his favorite Kenner figure, so I have to redo that episode.
If Vern gets invited on before me, then
well, it's the look.
Like I said, I'm reaching for the sky. I'm reaching out to like the Laura Legends, the Tom Green, the Mr. Beast, go big or go home.
Salacious Rum.
Yeah. Mr. Beast is giving away a card today on what's it called? Threads.
Yeah.
So go rethread his thread and you can win a Tesla. That's when it gets, how insane is your life, your lifestyle, your livelihood when basically you make millions of dollars a day posting YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Changes.
You just have to give it away. You have so much money. You just have to give it away monthly. Like, I got to give this away. That's too much money to have. That's brilliant, man. Like, that's a tough situation to be in. I like those guys. Mr. Beast is pretty fun. I'll watch about an hour of his videos a month, or an episode of his videos every month. I know he puts them out probably weekly, but just to see how the other half of the world lives, Hello, Margot. I'm trying to click on this and StreamYard's not letting me. So now that Bob's leaving, all the ladies are coming in.
Finally.
Hold on a minute.
Hello, ladies.
I think
Orlando.
they heard I was here.
They did. And you know what was funny? Yesterday, you had an unboxing, and I was home from the post office, and I turn on the YouTube. I'm like, oh, what's going on here? What's going on here? And boom, it's Hammerhead. So the toy guys, I heard them like through.
Man, have you got that figure?
No, but I'm think Vern said he might have ordered extra for
amazing.
me. So if I throw Vern a big bag of Canadian dollars, I think I can get one of those Hammerheads in my hands.
It's definitely.
I really want it. It looks great. It looks like a fantastic looking figure.
There's absolutely
It's the
no
best
excuse
Black
for them not to make others now.
No, of course not. Like my theories, I think, are accurate. When I think we'll see Hammerhead again in Black Series with his, it won't be teal right away. It'll be the traditional brown, like we see it underneath there now. But fingers crossed, they throw it on one of those, retro card backs.
Yeah.
And Amazon exclusive, like they did with the vinyl Cape Kenobi and the Jawa and the Greedo and their Kenner colors, because those are some of the cooler presented figures I think that Hasbro's made for Star Wars The Black Series when they put them on those.
Well, and they can do that figure and repackage it. They can put it on
absolutely.
for Bad Batch and for Star Wars.
Yes, because he was Kenner colors in the Bad Batch.
Yes.
Good call, Chris. So now there's no reason why he doesn't show up in live action Ahsoka. Him and the whole Cantina crew. I really hope, man. That would make that show for me if the Cantina crew was hanging out in one of the bars in Ahsoka. Don't forget the conversation, Rick. Better make it 2 big bags of Canadian money. Okay, Dandy. I hope you're doing well, buddy. I'm missing doing all my exercise on Sunday morning with Dino and Dandy. So hopefully that gets rolling again, guys.
Yeah, they haven't done theirs in a while.
I bet you they're both like, I'm probably way more fit than both of them now. Like, can you tell?
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of tomorrow,
And just full of muscle.
I've got an announcement tomorrow on the Lego studs. Brett collecting from Cool is being initiated, so he's going to get probed tomorrow.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, we'll be probing Brett tomorrow. I've got to go on Twitter and announce it. He's coming on. He's going to be initiated. There'll be a live probing, just like there was last week.
Has it been your probe been disinfected since last week?
Well, I run it over under the tap, but I mean, do I have to do more than that?
Yeah, from here up, I'm super fit. From here up.
Right. So I'll see you tomorrow. Come on, watch.
Yeah, Bob. We'll see you tomorrow building some Legos and probing.
Probing. See you later for probing time.
And after this video ends, because I'm learning the YouTubes, I'm able to point all 160,000 of you watching in live now to go to Ochre Studios channel. What? Because are you going on at noon, Vern? Hey, Vern. Noon. Probe safely. So, Chris, is that a boot Lego?
Yeah.
Like it came in a bag?
Yep, came in a big bag.
That's insane. Was it the shipping any cheaper, or is it still
shipping
crazy?
was free?
Oh,
Saved
okay.
me $300.
That's insane.
Yep, so it's $300 cheaper than buying the official one, which you can't buy anywhere except for the Lego store anyway.
So, do they have boot Lego Death Star?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, okay. Trying to
Might
think what else.
be too old of a set for them to bother with.
I guess the one big, giant, expensive Lego I would love is the biggest at that they made.
Yeah.
I know they made 3 or 4 sizes at this point. I think at least 2 or 3 sizes. But yeah, the super big one that's like, what, $800 Canadian or whatever. That would be. It would take me 3 years to build it, but it looks badass. 30 minutes to toy duo. So was that set more than $100?
So 182
And with free shipping.
with free shipping.
So that would probably be for sure a $300 set before shipping from like Lego, right?
No, it's a $500 set.
Okay, it's one of those.
Yeah, it's one of their most expensive sets.
So is that 5,000 pieces or something crazy like that?
6,100.
Jesus, Murphy.
Yeah,
Papa Gord's got a cool pricing mechanism, like 10 cents a Lego piece. Like,
Yep.
he kind of looks at it like that in Canadian dollar money. And then you'll see some of these kits that are like way off that scale. They don't fit the 10 cents a piece, 10 cents a brick kind of thing. But that's
what
Lego
John
holds
says
its
is
value.
It's not necessarily a licensed Lego set, then it's usually 10 cents a piece.
Sure, yeah, like the Lego family and friends kind of.
Yeah, the friends and stuff are cheaper because that's, of course, their brand.
And they have huge sets. They have giant, like, city blocks.
Oh yeah.
I've seen a couple of cool Lego channels where, and I can't remember his name, but there's one guy on Instagram I follow because he makes cool little reels and shorts. But yeah, he's got like a whole like Lego city and 3 suburbs in like a room.
Yeah.
Like Bob was talking about train sets earlier in his channel. You guys were talking about train sets.
Yep.
One of my early bosses, my early employers when I was young, he was a retired railroad engineer, and he had a hobby store when we used to have hobby stores in the shopping center, in the malls. And he sold all the train set stuff, but got into RC cars and models because it was the 80s. People weren't buying train sets anymore. Yeah. But he had his whole basement of his house was all train set. Like it was like wall to wall train set. And you have to crawl underneath this one area and you pop up in the middle, and that's where you got all your little train set controllers and lights. Oh, it was just the most amazed. Like you see this and you want to, play with all your Star Wars figures and stuff, right?
There's a toy store in my hometown in Kansas. He literally only has the toy store because his house got too small for his train set. So he started a store so he could display his train set properly.
It's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
Like I would, and I'm always kind of looking, like if I could live legally, like in a warehouse, like an industrial type of accommodation, I would, and then work out of it, but also have a little upstairs bedroom and shower and kitchen or whatever, because I have so much. I don't have so much. I don't have as much stuff as you. Like you have a huge toy collection. I have a moderate collection, but it's all kind of in Rubbermaids and boxes. And if I'm gonna have it, I would love to be able to display it, like even just my loose Star Wars figures and their ships and their boxes. But I kind of can't living in 800 square foot condos. It's tough.
Yeah,
I need a whole condo floor, like Super John, where he could move it into his mom's condo and his dad's condo.
Yeah.
Oh, we got this condo's just for my vintage G.I. Joe. Again, real life problems. So I got so much building done. You guys are all impressed. But I didn't. I'm not going to lie.
Damn it.
And it's a pain in the ass. TJ's driving channel. TJ does some singing and driving too. Check that out. So I hear Madonna canceled a tour that was supposed to start in Vancouver because I don't know, she had not virus, but something. She got sick somehow. Something bad happened.
Yeah.
But she's older than me, man. So hopefully she's doing okay. But I saw this on Twitter the other day. Is our prime minister reached out or tweeted at what's that country chick's name?
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift, like the most richest money-making music person ever now, doing like a big worldwide tour with no Canadian dates. So how weird is it that our prime minister is, hey Taylor, why aren't you playing in Canada? Like, it makes the news and Entertainment Tonight and all the Canadian entertainment channels. Pretty fun. Yeah. I could care less. But I know Shania Twain played here, like, I think yesterday. I saw a bunch of ladies posting their videos on the social medias, and Shania still sounds and looks great.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, Captain Spaulding. How are you doing today?
Please. Oh, finally. Okay. Yeah. I need this and this.
All right, so I'm going to try and put this piece on. But oh wow, that's complicated.
Huh.
Oh no, I'm doing something wrong.
Oops.
Hello, Kilted Corgi. Thanks for stopping by. Shania Twain. Yeah, another good Canadian kid.
Huh.
Made a video at Liverpool Cunard building. Is that a famous building, TJ?
All right, now we're.
Yeah, no doubt. Like that's the amount of money that Taylor Swift makes, like just on her sales. Like I don't know if Spotify, if that's where the only place they count music sales now. Is that all that counts? Digital music downloads?
I don't know how they count those anymore.
iTunes. I know there's still physical media. Like there is a record store. We'll call it a record store in my local mall. And every time I go in there, I'm the only one in there. There's not people lined up to buy like the latest U2 CD or vinyl LP. But yeah, because
what's stupid is I was at Target yesterday and they had more vinyl than they did CDs.
There's a lot of vinyl here now too. Like one of our department stores is called London Drugs. It's like a small version of Walmart, a Canadian only store. But yeah, they got like you can choose from like 12 different record players now, and they've got several, not gonna call them long boxes, but a big area of the 12-inch albums that are still being produced.
Yeah.
So they're not like vintage albums. There's still those stores here downtown and thrift stores and whatnot where you can find vintage albums, which is fun to always flip through those. And, every once in a while there's like a Star Wars laser disc popped in there or something cool from your childhood. But yeah, the modern LP thing, it's still a thing. I know my sister bought my nephews a record player a couple of years ago at Christmas time because they were feeling the LP music.
Where in the hell does this go?
Yeah, I got 3 boxes full of, many boxes full of CDs and many boxes full of DVDs and some Blu-rays, but they've been in those boxes for 4 and 5 years now. I don't pull up physical media to pop it in. It's been a while. Even during COVID, what I did do is I got an old VCR. I pulled out an old VCR and I plugged it in to watch some VHS tapes, and that was an experience. Oh, you got to take it all apart to put that one piece in?
I don't remember how this sits in here now. Okay, so.
Oh, okay. The Kennard building is where they filmed Fantastic Beasts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I saw Blue Harvest Toys Mark went to a little, like, some little meetup for UK folks where they filmed a lot of the Andor season 1. And it looked really fun, man. Like, there's a lot of cool that little beach area where they had those stupid freaking lawn chairs. They went there, and someone had a life-size chairs, freaking space lawn chairs. That someone had a life-size.
Why can a society that can have space travel not have figured out zippers or lawn chairs or anything else like that? They would have figured those out forever ago.
I just think they'd be more modernized versions.
Why? It's a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. It's not even modern.
It's a good point. Like, because if Star Wars: A New Hope came out today, and we saw Aunt Brew pull out that Tupperware container,
exactly,
we'd be all like, "Oh, that's Tupperware! You can't use Tupperware in Star Wars space." So I kind of agree with that kind of thing. But to be honest, like, that was the only thing in that awesome Andor show that kind of just pulled me out of fantasy Star Wars land. I'm like, because I have that lawn chair or have had it, and it's not like a prop that's hard to hunt. Well, maybe it is hard to hunt down now because it's a vintage lawn chair. But I don't know. I'm looking forward to part 2. Maybe they've got better lawn chairs in season 2.
Bigger budget.
Bigger budget. But it didn't feel low budget to me. Like, that's
what they should put on there.
My fingers are crossed. Ahsoka has a good budget like Andor did. I think it will. I really think it will, because I think Filoni, he's next in line to be, the Prez. So I think he's got some pull. And
some of that was shot during COVID, and we're still getting stuff shot from COVID.
That costs extra too, which I learned a lot about the filming of the Indy 5.
Yeah.
There was many weeks and months that it had to get shut down because of the COVID, and many extension of weeks because of the COVID. And I get it. It's, the TV and film industry here in Vancouver, it's right now kind of closed because of the current writer strike and stuff that's going on in Hollywood. And it affects thousands and thousands of people here in Vancouver that work in that business. The camera operators, the set designers, the hair and makeup people.
Yesterday, the actors, contracts expired.
So they're joining the picket line.
More than likely going to go on strike next too.
So that could and should mean this process gets sped up a little bit.
Yes, it should.
Because I think
the actors are kind of. I actually think that the networks or whatever, the studios, were actually waiting for this so that they could do it all at one time.
Sure, yeah.
So, and it really hasn't. The writers thing hasn't hurt them, because sure, it's postponed a couple shows that were in production, but there are so many shows now. It's just like I wouldn't notice the writer's strike is off because I'm still catching up on shows that are like 2 years old.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, but what I was saying about the people I know in the business, like some of them I know are working, but a lot of them that I know are not working and have not worked since this strike has gone on, because a lot of these TV shows and stuff that are made here, like all the CW verse and Harlequin Channel thing, like there's 82 Christmas movies filmed here a day for the Harlequin Channel. It's one of the biggest businesses here, believe it or not. But I mean, a lot of those places aren't working because if they're required to have some kind of change on the set, whether it's a little bit of script writing or something, I don't know all the ins and outs and special details, but a lot of production has halted unless it's I don't want to call things no-brainer or easy film, like commercials. Maybe commercials they don't change on the fly, like the commercial for Honda cars or things like that, because there's still lots of that stuff going on. But I think the big movies and Netflix type series, streaming kind of service series, I think a lot of them are on halt because they are required to have, like even more recently, Andor was filming, but they stopped because the producer, he's like he's not even part of this freaking union or whatever in the States, the Writers Guild. But out of respect, he's not working. So he's halted the production on the Andor, and that's just a courtesy and respect for the other people that work in his business with him. So part of it, I think, is that too, where the people just doing it out of respect. But until people start losing paychecks, like maybe a month goes by and they don't get a paycheck and they're living off their savings account, it's going to hurt those people that get paid hourly wages, driving truck or doing whatever they do in the movie business. Hopefully,
if as those shows go off, then your transport people, your craft services, your carpenters, all those people are stopped working and have to go find something else.
That also in Vancouver, we just had on Monday our port staff all went on strike. Our longshore union, they've all gone on strike now. So any of those new Hasbro toys that are on the boat are staying on the boat, and because this will go on for months. Watch, like I'll tell you right now, it'll be a couple of months before we get some new DVD players or whatever's made overseas coming off all these barges. It's all going to start sitting at the port like it was during mid-pandemic, when stuff just wasn't being unloaded because of the rules and stuff, right? But now they're on strike. So it's tough, man. That's a lot of these unions and stuff. When it's your turn, to go on strike, they're gonna. It seems like they're always gonna go on strike. It's just the way it is.
Yeah. Well, they've gotten to the point where all their contracts either all come up simultaneously or they're staggered slightly. Because the next one to come up is the Directors Guild. The Directors Guild's one is in September, I think.
Oh, really, eh?
So I don't think they're going to let it drag on till that. I think they're going to try and get something done before. And they'll say, look, the directors can have what the writers and the actors get. And then all three guilds will go together and make one big pack.
That's crazy. Do you think you could ever write let's say, not going to say a screenplay, but a movie or a short story, a television movie, or do you think you could ever write something like that just out of your creative?
No,
based on
I've come up in the past with things for I wonder if I could put that on the back of that.
or like a comic book,
like I could stay there. I've come up with the story treatments before for a couple things.
Oh, really?
Because back when I was doing DMing Star Wars and stuff, I actually created a ton of new vehicles and troopers and weaponry and stuff like that, some of which appeared later in the show just out of necessity. But then after Batman Returns, me and a buddy sat down and we hashed out a plan to basically create a version of the Long Halloween. We wanted the Batman Returns, we would have shot a new ending or something for it. And so at the end, the mayor is reading the paper and he smashes his hand on the paper, but his hand like flattens slightly. And that's when you get a CG representation. It's actually Clayface has been the mayor.
I see where you're going.
And so then it's basically, if you want to do something, you have to do it yourself. And so that movie introduces Clayface and Scarecrow to the Burton universe. And we got about a 24-page story treatment out of it.
So, like, if Hollywood was to approach you, Chris, and say, "Hey, we pick your best property," like we're talking existing property, like you were just talking about, would it be in the Batman universe?
Yeah, I think Batman is probably the easiest to write for, because his villains, for the most part, Batman is still very black and white. Batman is the good guy. Even though he's kind of lives in a gray world, he is the good guy.
Yeah.
He's never going to let civilians die just because. I think that's the problem people have with writing for Superman, is because Superman is the best guy, and they have a hard time trying to make him dark and edgy, and that's not Superman. That's Batman.
Yeah, I agree. Superman is an alien with superpowers as opposed to
who grew up in an idealized world. And, he's a journalist and he's an investigator, but he lives to help people. He's not driven by anything except the need for service.
That's a good point. Like Batman, after you saying that, and, all the comics I read as a kid, and even, the original cartoons or 60s show to the modern DC cartoons that they still make. They still pump out DC cartoons all the time, all these Batman movies.
Yeah,
there's some great writing. Like I agree. Like it's a fun genre to write for, I guess, because there's not a lot of canon things that you can mess up.
Because
like
DC canon is everywhere. Like
we know the origin.
They're talking about having the Batman have his own separate universe away from what James Gunn is doing.
Okay, I see.
Which, that's fine. I liked the Batman. I don't need to have Superman in my Batman stuff, but I do want to have my Superman in James Gunn's universe.
Sure, I'm looking forward to what he's got coming. I'm a little disappointed that we got to wait till after this new Superman Legacy project, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Until after that's in the can. I think that's when he's going to make Peacemaker season 2. And I'm like, that's like years away. Like that's
and see, that doesn't make any sense because Peacemaker's not in the same universe as James Gunn's stuff. So I don't know, unless they're going to retro it somehow, because you can't, because then Amanda Waller is in it, and then you've pulled Amanda Waller in it. And if Amanda Waller's in it, then both Suicide Squad movies have to be in it.
And that Amanda Waller thing is supposed to be before the Superman Legacy, if I'm catching my timeline correctly. So but that's a lot of stuff you got to deal with now. Rewriting
there's a lot of stuff, and then the Penguin show that's set in the Batman universe.
I did like the Batman movie. I think because it was dark, but a lot of the Batman movies are dark, cinema like it's
But
dark.
I liked that he had to actually do some detective work, and I liked that the commissioner actually did his job.
There was drama and acting.
Yeah, and that
fighting.
Alfred was part of it, and that Catwoman wasn't just this. Until the last half hour, I really enjoyed the Batman.
Yeah,
that last Batman turned into a normal Marvel movie with all the CG explosions and all the stuff that didn't need to happen.
Yeah, it makes me wonder, like, when that movie was made, how much of that was made, like, a year later, or like, let's just add this on afterwards, because it added something to the story, but not
really. A lot. It felt like it was a separate. The end of the movie was separate for some reason.
Yeah, it did seem there was like
as if them ending, Maroni and all them. That wasn't enough of an ending. Capturing the Riddler wasn't enough, and somebody at Warner Brothers was like, "Well, we need big explosions and CG water, and we need to flood Gotham." And somebody said, "Okay."
Yeah, and think about this too, Chris. When that was made, like maybe it was made 4 years ago, however many years ago it was, the production, the guys who wrote it and produced it and directed it and stuff, they were at the time with Warner Brothers or whoever owned them at the time. They're probably like, oh yeah, this would be a multi-movie deal and TV series, like we're talking to Penguin guy. And then 3 years go by, boom, it's all run by different people. So it's very interesting to see where the DC kind of cinematic universe alone goes. We all know, they have their own universe when it comes to cartoons and comic books and even McFarlane.
Well, I think that's another mistake that James Gunn is making. Gunn says that going forward, the comics and that kind of stuff will all be part of the same universe. Kind of like Star Wars does at the moment. I think that's a huge mistake, because you can't have people say die in a comic and then want to use them later and say, well, they weren't dead.
I agree. When they do that, when the comic story is so much different than whatever the live action or the cinematic universe is, and that comic is fairly recent.
Yeah.
So like the Captain Marvel, the Miss Marvel, the youngest girl, Kamala, she's died in the comics.
Yeah.
And we're like, what, 3 weeks away or a month away from a new movie coming out?
But
no Marvel with all these 3 women Captain Marvel people. So it's like, well, didn't they let's communicate with each other? And because I don't think they did. I think comics are on their own agenda, and the movies are on their own pathway, and they don't blend with each other. So that part I don't understand.
They don't really. Marvel doesn't do that. Their comic division is completely separate. But TJ, think Batman is Ben Affleck. The Batman is Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, and for whatever reason, like even with the Spider-Man, like when you got the comics, you got Amazing Spider-Man, you got Spider-Man. Yeah. So I don't know if it's a different license, but it's a different. Somehow it's a different brand.
Like Web of Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man. Do those cross over?
Yeah, Spider-Man has
their own stories.
But they all share supervillains and stuff, right? Those like Spider-Man as a
Spider-Man has the same villains throughout each comic.
So I get it. Like if they're gonna have, like if DC is gonna have 2 different universes, have one for Peacemaker and kind of funny stuff, and then have one for all their, because it is serious. DC comics.
They could treat it the same way Marvel did at the beginning of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where the television stuff was a completely separate. They already do it with their animated stuff. Animated is its own thing, and the CW verse was its own thing until the Flashes crossed over.
Yeah, true point.
So you do that, and then have movie universe.
I was really hoping that
capable of separating them,
Yeah, I was really hoping that when the Arrow TV show and the Flash, all that, the CW stuff, when that came out, I was excited. It was all made in Vancouver. It's all these new actors and people. It's not a low budget show, but not a high budget show. Just kind of in that middle, where the special effects are very limited. So I was hoping that would turn into something, it never did. So I kind of stopped watching those shows. I watched at least 1 or 2 seasons of
Well,
them
they
all,
ran for 15 years.
but I didn't fall in love with them and become a diehard lover of, because I was hoping for more.
Well, that's
like
because
Shield.
each one of them was only good for the first couple seasons.
I was hoping Shield would have turned out to be more. When I think season 1 they had a 1-minute cameo from Samuel Jackson or something, and then never again did they mesh with the movies. Just
well,
they tried.
yeah, they had what's her name from Thor.
Yeah, they tried.
And they had Kobe Summers. She was in several episodes.
Disney
the problem
Plus
is I really think they decided that at first they were going to use Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But then when they did the change and Feige and the guy who was doing the TV stuff got into a fight.
Okay.
The TV guy basically said, no, we're not going to work with the Marvel people anymore. And that's what really hurt Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. could have been used as what it was originally a filler. Kind of like the TV shows do now on Disney Plus. But
I would still like to see them revive. Like, it's not made anymore, right? Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s not.
No, it's been off the air for a couple of years now.
So here's a suggestion, Mickey Mouse, if you're watching. Mr. Feige, I know you subscribe to my channel. You're watching. Make an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Disney Plus show, but have it be little 5-minute, 10-minute little zingers that maybe add a little piece of story that you didn't want to add in a movie, or that didn't fit in the movie for whatever the storyline. Mm-hmm. So like now that we got the new stuff coming out, the Secret Invasion has taken over. People are actually seeing lizard people on airplanes. So I don't know if that's part of marketing, but it's just a weird coincidence. That's funny. Search that on YouTube. But yeah, throw a little 5-minute, 10-minute video in of Harrison Ford becoming the role of the new general guy, who the original actor's passed away now. Just kind of slowly introduce that stuff. Elaine, because now Elaine's kind of in charge of that not Secret Wars, but that crew of superheroes. Be interesting to see, because what's that movie called with the Red Hulk and Elaine from Seinfeld? It's off the top of my head. But that Marvel supergroup, that's like a...
I don't know if that movie's still moving forward.
Is it a movie or a series?
I think it was a movie.
Okay. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see, because I like a lot of those actors we're all grown to love in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Just keep them going. So, hey, Vern's about to start streaming. When I close this stream, you should all be naturally directed there automatically if I did all my YouTube stuff correctly. So it wasn't much of a build for me today, but thank you, Chris, for stopping by and doing some building and chatting.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mr. Salacious Rum, Bob himself, for gracing us with his presence on my YouTube channel. And thanks to all you in the chat for hanging and keeping
Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts, that's what it's called.
December 20th, 2024. Thunderbolts.
Okay. I hope it happens.
Yeah.
I really do, because if they're making Agatha the series, they better have Thunderbolts the series.
Agatha, I don't know if that's still coming. Somebody said that it had been maybe shut down because of the writer's strike and just killing it. Because that was supposed to be out this winter, and it's been pushed back to 2024 now.
Because didn't Hasbro just tease an Agatha action figure?
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's once again the left hand not knowing what the right hand's doing.
Exactly. So thanks everybody. Enjoy your weekend wherever you're at, and let them breathe, man. Is all I gotta say.
Left coast is the best coast.